Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I'm going to discuss what is the notebook in Microsoft Fabric. So you can create ETL pipeline using data flow or using the pipe copy activity in pipeline. And the next way to perform the ETL operation in Fabric is meaning if you have to load the data somewhere from into the lake house, so you can use this notebook. Okay, so this notebook uses the Apache Spark engine to perform the execution of code, whatever the code you will write. And let's see how you can create a notebook first. Okay, if you come to the Power BI service and then navigate to Fabric workspace, go to the workspace, and then you can select the workspace which you, whatever the Fabric workspace you are using. Into that workspace, if you go to the new item, and if you search here for the new notebook, okay, so you will be able to create a notebook. This is fine, right? So I have created one notebook here. Now let's understood some basics about the notebook, how to use and all. Then we will discuss how to write a code and all. So notebook, okay, I will say sample, sample notebook. Okay, this is what my notebook name. You can use as per your convenience. Okay. So first of all, there is an option to save the notebook. So if you want to create a copy, if you want to do the save as by default, whatever you will uh, changes you will made here, that will be auto saved. So if you want to create a copy of it, you can say save as. If you want to download this notebook as a IPYNB, that the notebook of the Jupyter notebook, if you are using Anaconda for the Python APIs, so you can download this. If you want to download this file as a .py file, you can download. If you want to download this file as a HTML, you can download. Okay, so there are ways. And if you want to make some changes with respect to setting and all, so this is just schedule, meaning if you want to schedule the notebook to execute or to run this notebook at a specific time, so you can use this setting also. Here the option is how to run the notebook, so you can run the notebook from here. Okay, you can run all cells. If you are in the, you have a multiple cells, let me add a code, let me add code. So if you are here in the middle of cells, and if you want to run the all the codes below, you can use the command to run cells below. If you want to run all the codes above the codes in which you are working, so you can use the run cells above. Then there is something called connect. So obviously, the way your Jupyter notebook works on the Python engine. Okay. So here, this notebook works on the basis of Apache Spark. And for Apache Spark, you need to create a session. So just say start the session. Okay. So it will take a while to create the session, but no worries, session will be created for you. So here, if you want to stop the session, you can stop the session. This in this notebook, you can use the different languages. Okay. So what you can do is in Spark, you can use PySpark, meaning the Python APIs. Then you can use Scala language. You can use SQL language also. You can use R language also. And if you want to use T-SQL, Transact SQL, you can use Transact SQL also. Okay. So environment here, a workspace default, but I don't think so. You will be able to create a new one and all. So here you can see the workspace setting is it is running on 1.3 Spark. Sorry, Spark 3.5, Delta 3.2. These are the version compute is medium and 1 to 10. This is the information. If you this will take a time to understand if you are new to this notebook and all. But no worries. while learning, you can use the default configuration, and then you can go. Data wrangling. Okay, so if you have a data frame, then you can use the low code interface, that simply selecting the options the way query editor works. You can perform the many kind of data transformation. You can explore and transform your data using the command operations, generating a coordinate. So this is just used to transform, meaning you have two data frames. If you want to merge, so there is option, meaning you don't need to write the code for yourself. So low code experience you can do. So code will be generated for you in the notebook. You have to just select. So I'll show you how this works. Then if you want to add this notebook to the pipeline, you will be able to do so. If you have created any pipeline. Okay, so let me go and see, is there a pipeline? Okay, so there is no pipeline. Okay, if I go and if I create the pipeline, so we can, what we can do, we can run the notebook from the notebook here. We can add this notebook to a pipeline activity, and that will be executed from the pipeline in a sequence, the whatever the sequence you will define. And I will, okay, I'm just not going to use this to start with the pipeline. I will, let me cancel out this. Yes, cancel, and pipeline activity. Okay, I'll just say copy data activity. So similarly, you can add the notebook here. Okay, so if I select this, go to the settings and select here notebook, sample notebook. So if I want to run this notebook or execute this notebook from here, so I'm able to do that also. Right. So if I say click on this and if I say run, it will run all the activities in the pipeline. That is what we have discussed in our previous session. What is a pipeline in Microsoft Fabric? Okay. So if you want to open this in Visual Studio Code, you will be able to do this from here. So now the way we have added, if you want to add a code cell, you can add cells. Okay. I don't, if you want to delete, you can delete the cells from here. You go to the cells, click in slash, and then you will get the option to delete. Okay. Then there is a option to convert the cells into the markdown. So cell will be converted like a text. Okay. So convert to cell, meaning here if uh, I'll convert this to markdown. Okay. I don't want to use anything. Here I will say this is notebook notebook demo, right? And if I convert this, so this will be like a text here, right? This is the notebook. So like this, you can comment the codes. You can write even some comments in the notebook and convert this to markdown. Okay. Then if you have run that code and if something is there, meaning the output is there, so you can clear the output from here. Okay. So now the thing is that I would like to connect with the data source. How I can do? Okay. So here there is option, data source option. You can click, and then if you want to use this, obviously mostly we will use this with the lake house and warehouse, meaning this connection is used. Okay. Then I'll say existing lake house because I'm not going to create, and this is what the lake house I would like to use. So whenever you make the connection with the lake house or warehouse, it will stop your session. Again, go and start the session. So here you can see that there is one file. So I'm going to read the data from this file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the data from this file. But in your case, you can make the connection with the any kind of databases, cloud platforms, and all from the notebook. You have to write the code. Okay. Use the connectors in Python also. That is fine. Or you may get codes or APIs, Spark, PySpark APIs to make the connection with the specific source. If you search on the Google or if you search on the Chat GPT, that is fine. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Lakehouse file as my connection. Okay, I wanted to read this file. What I can do, I can simply, okay, so you are experiencing low code, meaning you are not going to write everything. Code will be generated for you. So I will say, I'll just click here and I will say Spark. Okay. So if I, the moment I say Spark, okay, let's delete this. So what it has done, it has created a Spark code for me to read the data from the CSV file. Okay. So another way is you can do same using the pandas. So if you are familiar with the pandas, you can use the pandas code. You can execute the pandas code in this notebook. That is great, right? So basically, this is Python we are using. So we will see how we can use SQL also. Okay, but before that, let me create the table. So now my intention is to save this data. So now we have successfully connected with a one specific source, and I would like to let's view this data frame. Okay, this will just show. I'm just running this so that you will be able to see the table how the data frame is created in the Spark. Okay, and here is the table. Okay, so lots of information will be shown here by column wise, order ID and on. This is the statistics you will be able to see. If you minimize this, you will see the more columns, right? So if you want to download this, you can download in the different format. That is fine. If you want to use the data wrangler on this, you will be able to use this. Okay, so same data wrangler is here also. Same data wrangler is here also. And let me, okay, this is all sources. Yes. And there was file explorer also, right? So here, okay, let's click this. So this is file explorer. Now I don't need this. Okay, that is fine. So if I minimize everything, this is fine for me. So next is what I want to do is I want to insert this table into the lakehouse table. So you can do that very easily. So how to do this? So since this is your Spark data wrangling, I will show you. Okay. So let me insert the data into the lakehouse first. So okay. So I have created two cells. I don't need two cells. So this is the DF. I don't want to run this cell once again and display the data. Okay, so data frame is created. So you can write directly the Spark data frame to the data frame. Okay, so here in this, okay, right. So there is a function to save as a table. You can see, and the name of table you can pass. So since we already have connected to this lake house, so by default it will use this lake house table path to create the table. So let me say sales data. Okay, this is what my table name. So now if I run this, session is already started. And if I run this, so this will execute this specific cell I'm running. Okay, I'm not running all the cells. There is no need because I already executed this cell, and the data frame is already created. So I'm just writing the data into the table. Okay, and you have successfully completed the execution of this. So if I go back, okay, so I'm not interested in pipeline activity. Let's close and discard this. So here, if I come to the lake house, okay, let's refresh this view. So you will see that the table is created. The data frame which we have loaded from the files is created or loaded as a table here in this lake house. Okay, even from the file itself, from here also you can directly load this. Okay, so there is an option to load the data into the table from the CSV file, Parquet file, or JSON file. So if I go, everything will be taken care automatically, and you can create a table. So I will say new table, sales. Okay, I'll keep this name as it is. Sometime we may get error for this, or sometime it loads successfully. Okay, so in this case, so this is giving me the error because of the space or in the column names. So you will not get any error with the notebook or any other type of things. Okay. So let me refresh this so that we can have the table, right? So this is what the table we just created. I would like to read the data from this table. Okay. So I would like to read the data from this table. So how to use SQL and all. So even what kind of language you are using, you can go and select from here also for the specific cell. Or if you want to change the language for the notebook, you can change it from the top. Okay. So I will say SQL. Everywhere it will get changed. Okay. So obviously this code is not going to execute because this is a Python code. Okay. So now what I will do is I am going to read the data into the Spark. If I read the data, okay, if you read the data from file, it will use PySpark code. If you read the data from table, it will by default it will use the SQL. Let's say and run. So this is the SQL code you can use, and here your execution. Okay, it is a Spark. It's not like that SQL. Okay, fine. So Spark.SQL we are using, and this is the command, right? So this is the SQL command. Select star from this limit. It has put it for these many. I'll put this for only top 10, and then if I say run, so you can execute the SQL commands on the lakehouse table from the Spark, okay, by using PySpark. And if you wants to execute the SQL. So let me change this to SQL. You need to add if the command is like SQL percentile SQL you can write and then you can execute. But here you need to use the different functions and all. Okay. So that we will see how to use SQL and how to use Scala, how to use R in this notebook. But my intention is how to create a ETL pipeline or how to perform the ETL operation using notebook in PySpark in Microsoft Fabric. So this is what we have discussed so far. So let's dive into the notebook. So what notebook does for us is without any integration, without any setup, you can use the code, meaning you can focus on the data, you can focus on the implementation. You don't need to look for the okay what you need to install, what packages you are missing and all. Everything will be ready for you in the notebook. Okay, this is the best feature that you will get directly from the Microsoft. So you don't need to focus on the infrastructures, what you need. You just focus on the data, you just focus on the implementation. So data engineers write a code in the notebook for the data injection, data preparation, and data transformation. That's what we did. Okay. Okay. So we forgot to dive into the data wrangling, right? So let's go to the data wrangler. So what it will do, it will find the data frame. So there is a Spark data frame he has found. Okay. There is no pandas data frame. Let's select this. Okay. And you can see that these are the options and how it will generate the code. Load data from variable, uh, choose an operation to get started. Okay, so this is a new operation. So this is the data frame. The data frame is whatever the data frame you have. So you can those with missing value, rows 10. Okay, missing value, no missing value, data shapes. So find and replace. So from here you can search for the operation and you can use the functions directly on your data frame, meaning data frame. So I would like to group by. Okay, so I'm grouping it. I selected a group by and add aggregation. Okay, select one or more target column. So I would like to group the data based on the ship mode. Okay, this is what I selected. And okay, so it is generating a code for you, right? Pandas data frame. Okay, by default it is using pandas data frame, but you can use the Spark also. Okay, and reset, but this is not the whatever we are using is not a pandas data frame. So you can simply view operations, cleaning steps, code. So what you want to do? I don't want to keep the summary. Okay, I don't want to see the column statistics. I don't want to. Obviously, I would like to see the code preview and cleaning steps here. Load data from variable. Okay, so this has loaded the data into the pandas. Okay, so it has converted your operation, meaning data frame into the pandas data frame, and then you can say apply. Okay, so in this way, you can use the data wrangler and add code to notebook. You can do add code to notebook, and code will be here, right? So clean data. It has created one function. Okay, and the grouping operation it has performed in between based on the sheep mode. So code will be pandas code will be generated for you. You even don't need to do the write the code yourself, right? So this is nothing but data wrangler. So this is again very much simple low code interface. You can simply select the things what you want, and then the code will get generated for you. Data scientists can use this notebook to build the machine learning solutions. They can do the testing and meaning experiments and the modeling, then model tracking and deployment they can do from the notebook. So first way we saw how to run the notebook. Okay, if you want to run the notebook, you can say run all. If you have created a pipeline, you can use this notebook as a part of or one of the activity of the pipeline, and then you can perform this. Okay, then you can schedule. So how to schedule? Okay, if you go to the run, there is a scheduler. You can schedule the notebook to run at a specific time. Right. And then we saw how we can load the data into the lakehouse using the notebook. So here I used the connector from the same lakehouse, but you can use the connector like SQL Server or Azure server or Azure database or any kind of analysis service or any kind of cloud platform from where you can pull the data. And then once data is there into your notebook, meaning notebook variable, okay, or your Spark data frame, then you can perform the transformations. And obviously by simply writing the simple command, if you made the connection with the lakehouse, you will be able to load the data by using write function. On top of that write attribute, there is something called a save as table, and then you just give the name. If it is connected, you can use. Otherwise you need to, if the if you don't create the connection with the lake house, in that case what you can do, you cannot use this. You can use the that path. We need to see that path also. Okay, so if you go to the table, if you go to that three dots, then you can click on this ellipsis. We can call this as a ellipsis. Okay, and then go to the properties. So this is abfs path, so you need to use this. Azure blob storage path is there, and you can use this to access your lakehouse from anywhere. Okay, so I hope you like the content of video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Happy learning.